Hello, this is Victor at restoringmercedes.com, and today I'm going to pretty much show what's inside this transmission that I've taken apart. So I made this quick makeshift workbench real quick just so I can take it apart, and sort of like a decision what I made about it at this point, which is like sort of 50-50 obviously, but just one phone call I have to make before I decide what I'm doing with this. So now this is in the basement of my place where I live here, so don't mind the mess. This is my workshop here where I do all the other repairs. So here's the not the bell housing, the case, transmission case. The pen is on it just in case there's some fluid would come out, and also I don't want it to I don't want to move it around, scratching the surfaces where a valve body would meet with the case. It's actually, well, it don't matter really, but anyway. I have not removed the last drum. I don't see a need for that. With previous videos you saw how many pieces there were from those friction materials lodged everywhere. So there is some more over there. If you look closely you can see some pieces stuck in there. And then the rest of the transmission is pretty much empty now. So that last drum is to be removed. If it would have been rebuilt, then I'll do it. Now here are the parts laying around there. I don't know what I did with my socket to remove the yoke nut, so I just butchered it off, you know. Yeah, you can do that. This is just not right. You don't want to do that. Obviously you want the right socket. I had two of them. I don't know, one I gave away to a friend of mine, to one of the mechanics that used to work with us in the shop, and I just gave it to him. And the other one I had, I don't know what happened. So anyway, I just butchered it off just to see what's going on. This is a rear planet here, so planetaries look really good. Okay, they look really nice, spinning fine. I don't see any kind of wear anywhere. Yeah, that I butchered, but I can always put new nut on it and find my socket and then put some Loctite thread lock, and then it's fine, because the actual yoke sits on grooves here, right? So this thing is just so the yoke doesn't come loose. So once you put the nut with some thread lock, it's not going anywhere, because this is the force where the yoke is actually being subjected to, so it's not in and out. So it's not going to be a problem, even if I don't know if I'm going to rebuild it. So again, the bearings seem to be fine. There is no scoring or anything. All the gears and everything looks really good. So this is the rear planet, and here are some rear clutches. I don't remember which ones, K2, K3, K4, it doesn't matter at this point. So let's take a look at these real quick. These are the last ones in the case, and they look okay, right? So anyway, so they look okay. They're thin, but that seems like what they should look like. Okay, now again, see, we have signs of this rust. It's coming off. That's a good sign. Comes off once you just move it, just like you move your finger and move my glove over them. The rust comes off, but obviously it's not the greatest look. I mean, it's not the greatest scenario, but I mean, everything is doable. I mean, it's all done by people. It's not a big deal. I mean, I can clean this all off. Now this is a problematic set of clutches here. These are gone completely. There's nothing left. Absolutely nothing left. Just nothing left. So these are the frictions. They're supposed to have friction material on them, and there is nothing left on them whatsoever. Nothing. Zero. Completely gone. So these are the rear ones. Oh yeah, a little bit left right here. a little piece. That's just garbage though. It's not from the clutch. I mean, it is the friction material. It's just that it was completely deteriorated, and they're just all gone. So these are completely gone. Another set of clutches here. Same problem here. These things just fall right off. You know, the steels are good, all right? So the steels here are good. It's just that frictions, they just flake right off. If you look at this, I mean, this is crazy. It's just ridiculous how they just fall right off. Steels are fine. There's no scoring. Oh, maybe just, nah, that's nothing. That could still work just fine. See, these frictions, some of them are holding on, and some of them just disintegrated. Like, you know, which one would... I don't know, it's just bizarre. Here, this one, for example, completely bare, whereas others are okay. I don't understand that. Well, again, sign of rust. Yes, here we have some signs of rust. Just slightly, not as much as on the other set. So that's bad. This is the friction material laying here. That. Now what else? We got some clutches here. This is from the front already, front planet. Here we have, well, decent clutches actually, more or less. Well, comparing to the bare ones, steels seem to be okay. I haven't looked at them yet. This is the first time I'm really just looking at them closely. And thickness wise, they're worn a little bit. But it's not terribly bad. It's just that delamination. I don't understand why they just completely deteriorate. It's just bad. And that's the very front set, like up front there. Yeah, this one is also bad, as you can see. They're just falling off. Frictions. This seem to be double side frictions here. More frictions flake right off. So, steels, not the greatest, but they're not scored. Like the last set of steels over there, yes, no good. They're all scored. They need to be replaced. Alright, so put this back there. Now the rest. The sprag is good, but I screwed up a little bit here because this thing slipped out of my hands. It fell. And I cracked it, I broke it. As you can see, it cracked. It's just like when I was carrying this thing downstairs here in the workshop. Yeah, I didn't do the right thing, so it fell out, slipped out, and it just fell right on this edge and it broke. This thing is not super expensive. I can find used one for like $60, $70. The pump is fine. The dirt inside the pump is not really severe at all. If you look all around, there is some dirt, yes, but no metal shavings or anything of this nature. It's just rust and clutch material, some little fine dust. Nothing to worry about that. Bell housing, the gasket here, as you can see, a little bit of bubbling here. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. Probably not. I think this is the sign of kind of the delamination already. See how it's bubbling? I doubt it should look like that. But again, I'm not a transmission rebuilder. I did these transmissions before, yes I did, but I'm not the rebuilder per se. Bell housing is perfect. Let's take a look. This is nothing was cleaned. I haven't cleaned anything. It's just that I rebuilt. I took it apart without even cleaning it because I'm not sure of what I'm gonna do with it. So if I'm gonna clean it and then decide not to rebuild it, so what's the point? See, there is some gooey stuff lodged in here, but obviously when you rebuild the transmission, everything is being cleaned up. So the rear of the bell housing is perfect. The most important area is obviously here. This is our front pump area. and you want to have these surfaces in good condition, perfect condition. They do sell also plates that you can put in there, like the insert, so if something happens with the pump, it's not scoring the surface, because this is finely machined. But this one is perfect. There's nothing. Yeah, well, obviously you see some grooves here, but they're not even grooves. It's just like just the regular wear and tear. So that's that. Put this back there, and then we have the piston from the front piston. Nothing really interesting here. Everything is fine. Even seals are good. But again, I haven't disassembled it completely, because you know, you have to remove the snap ring to remove this, to change the piston seal and all that. Well, I mean, I'm just saying that. Then also again, this is disassembled, but there is also I'm not sure. See, this one has a little bit of rust on it, so it's another piston from there. But anyway, so this is the situation. Now, what I'm gonna do with this, I'm gonna call one place now and see if I can make a deal with the seller. He has a transmission that was rebuilt by a dealer. It's a replacement unit, so it doesn't have many miles, and it seems to be in really good condition. And if I can get that, probably will buy it. And this is the reason. Obviously, if it's a dealer replacement unit, then obviously it will have fresh parts in it. It will be done pretty much according to factory specifications and everything. If I'm going to rebuild this piece with this particular transmission, what's going to happen is I'm going to buy a kit with all the steels. It's going to cost me a good, nice quality kit. It's like $400. They range in price. I don't really want to buy Chinese one, so I would rather get the original. So $400. Now I need to get that drum, right? That front housing, the K1, I believe it is, K1 clutch housing. That's like, say, $60–70. 470. 470 bucks. So say 500, round it up, shipping and whatnot. Maybe a couple of other things, like a connector and stuff like that. I mean, I will still replace it on another one anyway, but still. So $500, and time to put this back together. Now, to disassemble is easy. Just think about this. You can always disassemble stuff fairly quick. Now, if you want to assemble this stuff right, you have to clean each and every part nicely. You have to press bushing, you know, you gotta press the seals in right. You have to lubricate, assembly lube, put it together, torque it down, each and every bolt, you know, each and every seal. Everything should go fine, perfectly fine. And then, once you do that, you're gonna be fine. But how much time will it take? It's gonna take a while. I mean, probably in one day it could be done. No question about it. I've done it before. One day, when it's disassembled like this, you're just gonna one guy just go wash the part, assemble, wash the part, assemble. Boom, boom, boom. One day it's totally doable. Alright, I would say so, to put it back together. Second thing is the valve body. Yeah, it's laying there because it needs to be cleaned up anyway. Again, I've already cleaned it once, and because of all this loose clutch materials all over, then that was basically a waste of my time. I don't know. It was an experiment to see what happens, and it didn't work out. So it has to be cleaned up again, because that's a good valve body. It was perfectly fine. The problem was clearly in those clutches, okay? And the last thing is torque converter. So torque converter will have its own clutch back there for the lockup. And I don't know if those are okay. You can see it. So to buy another rebuilt torque converter, that's like $300, $400. So overall, without, like, if you want to do this right, without labor, you put in like $800 at minimum. So if you buy a used unit for $1,000, so my labor will be like what, $200 for like a couple of days? It's just not worth it. Not really worth it. I mean, I don't really have time to spend on this like 2 days. I have workload, and things to do and customers' parts to rebuild, and couple of cars sitting there. I have a couple of cars waiting in line to come in, and you know, I'm not gonna just sit out, and plus I have to put transmission back into my car, so that's also time. So that's already thrown my schedule off. So this is basically the idea here. So I'm thinking if I'm gonna get it for like $1,000, I'll probably better off getting that rebuilt unit. Yes, it was on the vehicle, but it sure has very few miles. It's gotta have to. But anyway, so we'll see what happens. If I won't get it, I would probably rebuild this one, because number one, if you get the used unit with like whatever, all the junkyards, they say they have their 80,000 miles on their cars. Very, very strange. 85, 90, 85, 90, 82, 85. Come on. I mean, seriously, we're not kids over here. I mean, who do you trust? And it says, oh, the car is gone now, but it had like 82,000 miles. Yeah, great, okay. So that's what they all say. So you get that, you have a big chance that transmission is already burnt. It could be on its last leg. So in that case, you would lose your money. You put it in there, it'll drive for a little bit, and then if it fails, then what? No good. Oh yeah, I have to replace oil pan also, because remember from previous videos, oil pan has delamination. So but this one, the one that I'm looking into is the rebuilt unit. So that's obviously way higher chance that it's all fine. And obviously, if you get the one from junkyard that tells you it's 80,000 miles, and if it's set outside, you're gonna have the same situation what I went through with all this delamination of clutches, of the friction discs. So obviously, I would rather rebuild mine and put all new materials in it, so I know this is completely rebuilt, everything is brand new. Well, the friction discs are brand new, because the rest, everything, the metal stuff is good. Everything looks on point, except for that drum, which I can get. So this is the idea. Is it gonna be worth it? We'll see. So yeah, many people, and I spoke with some people, and some people who pass by, and some of my customers, they see the car, they ask what's going on, and yeah, I explain the situation. They all say like, yeah, you know, rebuild it, don't worry about it, you'll be alright, you can do it. I know I can do it, but is it worth me doing it? If I can get the rebuild unit already for the price that I would put into this in parts alone, no, it's not worth it. So make that phone call and see what happens. And next video will be either I'm rebuilding this one or I'm installing another one. So this is going to be all. This is Victor at HistoriaMercedes.com. Thank you for watching.